Hello everybody, good morning. We are waiting for others to join. We'll start in exactly at 7:05 IST. Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening. So, can you all quickly introduce yourself, like by telling your name, from which place of the globe you are attending the session, how many years of work experience you have, and any expectations from the course? Yeah, can we get started, guys? Ajay, Beltran, Gayatri, Hasina, Vaishnavi. Yeah, can you get started by introducing yourself quickly?
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Nelly. I'm Mexican, and I'm in a moment in my life where I'm trying to learn new tools
Mhm.
for a career change.
Great, great. Others? So, okay, guys, the floor is open. No one will gonna judge you. Yes, Gayatri.
Hi, good morning. Gayatri here.
Yeah.
I'm from Bangalore,
Mhm.
and yeah, I had worked in Java some time back, but I wanted to have a recollection of the same. So I just wanted to brush through the topic. So I just that's the reason I have joined this course.
Others?
Yeah, myself Ajay, working
Hmm.
as a performance tester.
Hmm.
So I want to explore the automation opportunities. For that, I'm learning like automation selling. So then I joined here, but start.
Hi, good morning all. This is Hasina. I'm working as a manual QA tester from past 8 years. I want to switch my career in automation. That's why I joined here.
Great. Yeah. I guess no one. Vaishnavi is left, right?
Yeah, hi sir. Hello all. So I have 12 plus years of experience and as a functional QA. So even I want to switch my career to automation. So and moreover, I'm looking for AI options as well. So looking forward. Thank you.
I hope everyone is able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
So let's understand what is automation testing and what is it all about. Okay. Let's understand what is it. So what do you mean by automation testing? It is simple. Simply we say like we write a computer program to test other computer programs in very layman terms. Instead of human clicking an app, clicking through an app manually, we write the code that does the same action like clicking and checking for us automatically, repeatedly, much faster. Like suppose if you're just testing a calculator app, as a manual tester, you have to type 2 plus 2 and check if it shows 4 or not in the calculator. Whereas when you do automation testing, you write a program that types 2 plus 2 on the calculator automatically, and via automation, you can also check with different calculations in seconds while you have a cup of coffee. This is what you can explain to others what is automation testing. You can simply say like using a computer program to test other computer program. There's no fancy definition here, there's nothing here. So let's try to understand some basic terminologies before we enter into the next thing because we use these keywords a lot. What is a test script? A set of instructions written in code that tells the computer exactly what to test. Okay. Test script is nothing but a set of instructions, what we write in code that tells the computer exactly what to test. Like think of it like a recipe, step by step instructions that can be followed the same way every time. For example, I've always want to do what I want to say. I want to click on login button, enter the username, check if the dashboard appears. So for this set of actions, I'll be writing a test script where it contains the certain instructions or certain lines of code that tells the computer exactly what to test. So what are the different types of automated tests? There are different levels of testing, like unit tests check small pieces of code. Integration tests how parts work together. An end-to-end system simulates user journeys. Okay, these are the different areas where we use automation testing. What is CI/CD? CI/CD stands for continuous integration and continuous deployment. It's a practice where code changes are automatically tested and deployed. Automated tests run every single time the developer makes the changes. Okay. CI stands for continuous integration and continuous deployment, where code changes are automatically tested and deployed. And what is a testing pyramid? Testing pyramid is nothing but, how many of you remember the testing pyramid is? Like, we have a lot of manual testers here in the room. So what do you mean by a testing pyramid? Yeah. What do you mean by a testing pyramid is? Yes, you are free to answer. You're free to answer this. You can tell me what's the testing pyramid. Gayatri, Hasina, Vaishnavi, Vijay. So a testing pyramid is nothing but like many fast tests run at the bottom, few integration tests in the middle, and few end-to-end tests at the top. This ensures speed and thorough coverage of the code. Fast test cases at the base and slower comprehensive tests at the top. So these are the key terms that we need to know in automation testing. We all know what is a test case. Test case is nothing but a specific scenario to verify a feature works correctly or not. Test coverage, percentage of code that is tested by automation testing. Regression testing, rerunning tests to ensure code didn't break existing features. Framework, a pre-built structure or toolkit for writing and running test cases. So if you have any doubts, you can unmute and you can ask us any point of time. So you have the freedom to ask doubts. You need not keep it till the last one. So let us see what is the difference. What are the difference between a project who has implemented only manual testing versus a project who has implemented automation testing. So with this graph, what you understand is like in the era 2026 we are. Now imagine that a team is fully following only manual testing versus a team who has implemented automation testing in their projects. What do you feel about it? Vaishnavi, Hasina, Gayatri, Daltra, Ajay, Abhijit. What do you feel about it? Like a team who is implementing only manual testing versus the team implementing a bit of automation in their projects.
Yeah, regression cases we can cover in automation, like tests that are frequently done.
Mhm.
Part of automation and uh, manual is actually a good approach, I feel.
So the question here is like if you see these two images, we have a manual tester who is working. We have a team of manual testers who is only doing manual testing versus a team of testing team who does both automation and manual testing. So how will be the balance, work-life balance from that perspective? How will be it from the work effectiveness, work efficiency? I'm talking from that perspective. Vaishnavi?
Yeah, like redundant cases, if we automate it is like cost effective, and also it saves the time
Mm.
that we spend on manual testing.
Mm.
So the second approach is better when compared to complete manual.
So manual testing requires human execution for every test. It is time consuming and repetitive, prone to fatigue and errors. Why we say prone to fatigue and errors? If I ask you to do regression testing for one time or two times or three times manually, you will be excited and you will do it. Suppose if I ask you to do the same regression testing for n number of times, you will be obviously frustrated and vexed up with it. You cannot run tests overnight. As a manual tester, we cannot sit overnight and freeze the test executions. And it will be sometimes difficult to scale with the size of the apps that is growing if you implement only manual testing. Now, what happens when we put automation testing? We run the tests with automatically with scripts, faster execution where we run hundreds of test cases in minutes, consistent results every single time. It works 24/7, including nights and weekends, and scales effortlessly with your application. So, if you see the time spent again, hours to days per test cycle, whereas when you implement automation testing, it will be minutes to hours. For repetitive tasks, it is tedious and error prone when we do only manual testing. When you implement automation testing, in this case, it is handled effortlessly. What do you mean by working hours? As a manual tester, we can work only during the normal regular hours. Whereas automation testing runs 24/7 even while sleeping. Mental load. So high cognitive fatigue. You'll be really frustrated like how many test cases I have to write, how many test cases I have to run every day. I'm very fed up of this. Mental load here. Free to focus on complex problems. And if you ask me in reality, it is not either or, it's both. So what you said, Beltran, is absolutely right. It's both. The best QA teams use automation testing for repetitive regression tests and manual testing for exploratory work, usability, and new features. Our job is to know when to use what. The best QA teams in the globe use both manual and QA testing. They won't either follow only manual, they won't either follow only automation testing. They use both, and they have to be smart enough in which situation I have to use what process. Can I get a quick thumbs up from everybody or quick yes in the chat box if everybody is clear with it? So why learn automation testing? Speed and efficiency. Tests that take human hours can run in minutes. A test of 500 test cases can complete while you're on your lunch break. That means the faster feedback on the code as you learn. Consistency. Automation tests run exactly the same way every time. It never says like, I thought I checked that, no human errors, no forgetting steps. 24/7 availability. Our test case can run overnight on weekends, even on holidays. The computer never reads, sleeps, or never sleeps or on vacation days. Doesn't have any vacation days. Scalability. As your application grows, you can add hundreds of test cases to the existing automation framework. Better usage of people. Better usage of people means while robots handle repetitive testing, we as humans can focus on creative problem solving, finding more edge cases, being more creative. It challenges us to be more creative as a manual tester. Early bug detection. Finding bugs during development, not after release, will help you save a lot of money. If you see the fact in the industry that bugs cost 6x more to fix in production than in QA environment. This is a very, very unstated fact that if you find a bug in UAT or production, the cost incurred to fix that bug is very, very high. Now, automation testers are in high demand in the tech industry. Why this matters for your career? And the average hike of salaries is 20 to 40% higher than manual testing roles. Coding skills can be applied to SDE roles, development roles, or SDET roles. The skills can be transferable. That is why automation testing is in high demand in most of the tech roles in the industry. And what are the advantages? We have seen why we need to learn automation testing. Now, let us see what are the advantages of it. Infinite repeatability. I can run the same test case a number of times. Massive time savings. What takes a manual tester 8 hours will be executed in 15 minutes. Testers reclaim weeks of productivity annually. Superior test coverage. Automation makes it feasible to test edge cases, boundary conditions, and rare scenarios that manual testing offers skips. Like if you write the all the edge cases and boundary conditions and all the rare scenarios in automation testing, it will do the job for you. CI/CD integration. We can also run automation test cases, testing on every commit, every pull request, every deployment, catching regressions instantly in modern DevOps workflow. We can do that. Long-term cost efficiency. Initial investment pays off quickly. So automation initially is a very high investment, but over the due course of time, each test case run costs virtually nothing compared to hourly manual testing rates. We can achieve the break even in 6 to 12 months from a business perspective. Free some human creativity. Let machine handle repetitive tasks while QA engineers focus on exploratory testing, usability, edge cases, and that require human intuitions. And if you see the market, $4.4 billion is the size of the test automation market. This is the latest market update in 2023. Now we are in 2026. You can scale it up to like saying like $8 billion market. CAGR growth rate to 2030. So we are expecting a growth rate of 14.5% in terms of automation usage. 72% of the enterprises now use automation testing. Now, 6x cheaper to fix bugs found in dev versus found in prod. When manual testing wins, I'm not saying that automation testing is like the boss of everything. There are certain areas where manual testing wins over automation testing. Exploratory testing, discovering bugs by exploring the app like a curious user. Try random things to see what user breaks. Visual and design thinking. Check if the app looks good, the color, spacing, fonts, and overall feel that computers cannot judge. Usability testing, understanding if the app is easy or confusing to use from a real person's perspective. Edge case discovery, finding weird scenarios nobody thought to test, like what if someone enters their birthday as the year 3000. So the basic thing is you can't automate what you have imagined yet. So the golden ratio that we follow here is 70% automation and 30% manual testing. And always remember that automation testing isn't magic. Initial time investment, while writing good automation takes time upfront. When the app changes, test cases need to be updated. Neglected tests become useless. Automation only tests what you tell to do. It won't find bugs you didn't think to check for. And automation requires programming skills. But that's why you're in this course. Any doubts so far? Abhijit, Ajay, Beltran, Hasina, Vaishnav?
No.
So the principle every QA engineer lives by: automate the boring stuff, save human brains for the interesting problems. So what are the top 5 golden rules that we need to follow? The first thing, since we are all taking our first step towards automation testing, the first step that we need to understand is don't automate a mess. Before automating, make sure your manual process works correctly. Automating a broken process just creates faster problems. Remember, first fix the bugs, then automate it. Keep scripts simple. Avoid writing complex logic in your scripts. Simple, readable tests are easier to maintain and debug when they fail. Don't aim for 100% automation. Even if I say 100% automation is possible, don't believe it. It isn't realistic or necessary. Focus on high value, frequently run tests. Some things are better tested manually. So remember, 70 to 80, achieving 70 to 80% automation is a sweet spot in most of the organizations. No testing first. Great automation requires understanding testing fundamentals. Tools change, but testing principles remain constant. Okay. It's software development. Test automation is a software programming. Treat your test code like production code. Use version control code reviews and good practices. The bottom line is quality over quantity, simplicity over complexity, balance over extremes. These are the 3 principles that we need to follow in the year 2026 when you want to become an automation engineer. You need to balance over everything. Now, let's come to the business value. This is where our whole interest lies on. It's not like we are all interested in learning automation testing as a skill. We also need to understand what is the business value in the market. What is the return on investment? Suppose if a company spends $10,000 on automation testing and saves $95,000 in testing costs, that's a great ROI. Understanding this helps you convince manager to invest in automation. Always remember, guys, any new tech stack, any new role that is coming in the market, always the cost that always the thing that matters is return on investment. Is this worth the money? Because I want you to tell you that all the industry runs only on money. That's why we are learning automation testing. Why? Because we are getting a $10 return on every $1 that is invested. 70% reduction in testing time, 30% improvement in quality of the product, 3x faster product releases. So key takeaway, suppose Ajay is there. Ajay, when you're going for a next interview, instead of saying you know Selenium with Java, TestNG and all these things, you should say that how much time you have saved with the help of automation testing, how much money you have saved for the organization, how much quality you brought it. These are the things that you need to explain when you're going for any test automation interviews, so that you will they will understand that okay, this guy is not like a regular automation guy. He understands the business. Based on the business only, he will try to implement where the automation is required. Nowadays, mentioning your skill sets in the interview is not the only criteria. Whenever you're going for an interview, more than skill set, you need to mention this ROI part. When you're mentioning this ROI part, then the company will understand that okay, what was your efforts in terms of time save, money save, and quality improvement. Now, what are the different case studies that we have for automation testing? These are the real life case studies that has happened. Now, when I say e-commerce giant, a large online store with millions of products and thousands of daily transactions. So what was a major problem that they were having? Testing checkout, payments, and inventory across hundreds of scenarios manually was taking 2 weeks per release. Because for any e-commerce site, payments, inventory, checkout pages is something we need to have a constant eye on. That is where issues occur. So what we have done, what the team has done, implemented automation testing for critical paths, add to cart, checkout, payment processing, and order confirmation. So what was the impact? Testing time reduced from 2 weeks to 4 hours. Got 40% more bugs before they reach customer. Now this is for one of the top finance banks in India. What was the major problem that they faced? Every update required extensive manual testing for security, transactions, and compliance, delaying features by months. So what does the solution came? Build comprehensive automated test suites for login, transfers, balance checks, and security scenarios. Okay. What was the result? Release cycle shortened from 3 months to 2 weeks. Zero security incidents post automation testing. Clear? Now we go for a edtech startup, one of the most popular edtech startups in India or in India. These were the use cases. What I've got to know from the real companies. Students reported bugs during exams, causing a lot of lost progress. Manual testing couldn't cover all browser and device combination. What we did as an automation team, implemented cross-browser automation testing for exam flows, video playback, and progress tracking. Zero exam breaking bugs in 6 months. Student satisfaction scores improved by 35%. So these are not some AI generated use cases, right? These are some real use cases. I cannot mention the name of the companies, but these were some of the real use cases that the companies have faced it. So when they implemented automation testing here, that is where they felt like, okay, this will improve my testing time, reduce my testing cycle, zero exam breaking bugs in 6 months, all these things. These are the real use cases. What are the lessons that we need to learn from industry? You need not be aggressive in doing automation testing. Start small. Automate one critical feature first, then expand. Not everyone needs automation testing. Focus on repetitive, stable features. Good test automation requires good test cases. Learn to create clear requirements. Maintenance matters. Budget time for keeping tests updated. These are the 4 lessons that we need to learn from the above use cases. Now, this is a very small quiz that I have given 5 questions only, guys. I wanted to give the answer for these 5 questions. If you can tell me your answers here, I will mark that options here. Everyone, guys. What is the main advantage of automation testing over manual testing? Okay, B. It can run tests repeatedly without human error. When should you not automate a test? Yes, I want active participation in the class, guys. Yeah. So what does ROI mean like? Return on investment. Now, what is the answer for this, guys?
Regression testing.
Last question, guys. I know it's a very silly question, but so this is what is the thing. Now, what is the future of automation testing now? Why I'm saying you're learning automation testing at the right time? Because now currently the testing industry is in the middle of a massive shift. Companies need people who understand both traditional and new age AI tools. So now we are in an era where we are in ensuring AI powered test generation. AI looks at your code and automatically suggests what tests to write, like having a smart assistant that knows what might break. Self-healing tests. When a button moves or changes name, tests automatically adapt instead of breaking. Smart tests that fix themselves. Autonomous testing agents. This is not yet in the market, but this is the future. AI robots that explore your app like a curious user clicking around finding bugs without being told what to test. This is the future of exploratory testing. How testing has evolved. In the year 90s and 2000s, we were in the manual era. Humans clicked through every feature, slow but simple. Then come the era 2000s to 2015 era, record and playback tools. Then Selenium entered the game in 2004 and changed everything. Modern automation. If you ask me 2 years or 3 years back, learning cloud CI/CD, cloud testing, and shift left practices was optional. Now it is mandatory for every one of you that is present in the room. Now we are in an augmentative era where AI helps and write maintain tests. Humans supervise the whole process. Now, what is the future? The future is cognitive era where AI agents automatically test the applications. So that is why I'm saying you're learning at the perfect time. And whenever you're trying to switch to automation roles, knowing the cloud testing CI/CD processes is like a mandatory no. It is not an option anymore. AI at the end of this day, I would like to announce a statement that AI won't replace testers. It will empower them. The future belongs to the testers who can work with AI tools. We are here to learn the fundamentals now, embrace our AI capabilities, and you will be positioned for an exciting and evolving career at a later point of time. And in fact, to say with the advent of AI, the role of a tester has increased gradually. The more work we are getting as a tester. Someone asked me some AI related stuff that they want with testing, right? Who was it? I don't know, but I hope I was answering the question in terms of the career.
Yeah.
So I would like to give a very hearty congratulations because you have made the first step that not many people made in the group, like to taking the first step towards understanding what is automation testing, what is the ROI of it, what's next that is happening in the market. We all know we want to become a ready to become Selenium Pro, where we can start becoming an SDET manager. We can want to become a SDET role. We want to become an SDET backend engineer. We are all ready to become a Selenium Pro. Let's see the roadmap of it. So this is the roadmap I will be going to show you guys. So let's start the learning journey. First, we will be covering this Git and this Git and version control. What are the topics we are covering? We are telling you that. What are we covering here? Git installation and configuration, repository initialization, basic commands, working directory staging area, and repository. Git ignore files. The important concept with respect to branching and merging, stashing changes. How do we connect to the remote repository? How do we use the concept of forking and pull requests, cloning repository, remote tracking, push and pull fetch operations? What are the different collaboration workflows, feature branch workflow, pull request reviews, code collaboration best practices, and all those things. And advanced Git concept, Git reset and revert, Git tags and releases, Git hooks, rebasing versus merging, cherry picking commits. So all these Git concepts, as we have committed earlier, in order to keep the interest of due course of time, we are sharing all the recorded sessions of Git and version control. And if you want, if you have any doubts, you can raise the questions on about Git in live classes so that I will clarify all the doubts. This Git and version control will be like the recorded sessions. We'll be sharing the recorded sessions for you. Because the first step that everyone needs to know is Git. Because without understanding Git, we cannot even jump into automation testing. Because Git is like the most essential thing, not only in the tech industry, even in the design industry, even in the film industry, also they are using Git a lot to keep the track of the files that they have made. So always try to understand that Git is not only for tech industry, it is for every market. Then we will be understanding. So the people who are having the program fear, worry not. We will be teaching you what is programming concepts right from semiconductor days. What is a semiconductor? What is a RAM? What is a ROM? What is a bus? From there, how the assembly level programming language came, how the high level programming language started. All this thing from the very basic scratch to installing the tools, like what are the different tools that we need for automation testing? Like we go for Java basics and OOPS concepts, variables, data types, operators, control flow and loops, classes, objects, inheritance, polymorphism and encapsulation, advanced Java fundamentals like exception handling, collections framework, string manipulation, file IO operations, IDE setup, Maven and Gradle build tools, debugging techniques, advanced Java concepts like how do we handle the file operations, reading and writing the file, data from the file, buffer reader and buffer writer, file input stream and file output stream, private resources. These are some important topics because in Selenium we deal with files day in and day out. Then we cover the collection frameworks like list, set, map interfaces, array list, linker list, hash map, iterators and comparators, collections utility class. We will be covering an exhaustive range of collections because collections is eternal for our framework design, Selenium script development. Then we go for modern Java features like records and immutability, sealed classes and interfaces, pattern matching, text blocks, and advanced collections and streams like Lambda expressions, stream API, functional interfaces, method references. Then we'll also see the design patterns like factory pattern, singleton pattern, page object model, foundational layers. So that is the builder patterns. Then we will start with TestNG framework. But before we go to TestNG framework, anyone has any doubts with the Java concept that you are covering? Anyone has any doubts with the Java concept that we are covering, guys?
No, for me.
So TestNG framework. What are the different TestNG fundamentals? Like annotations, test suites and XML configurations, assertions and validations, grouping concepts, advanced TestNG features like parameterization, data providers, parallel execution, test dependencies and priorities, listeners and reporters. Selenium WebDriver mastery. What is the architecture of it? What is the browser driver configuration? Locators and locator strategies, relative locators, web element methods, advanced WebDriver techniques. Beltran, don't worry, we are teaching from very core scratch. Advanced WebDriver techniques like waits, actions class, frames and windows handling, alerts and pop-ups. Complex scenarios like screenshots and logs, JavaScript executor, file upload and download, headless browser testing. How do we use JavaScript and Selenium like JavaScript executor usage, custom wait conditions, browser console automation. Then we'll understand the Selenium grid architecture and its distributed testing network. How do we set up the grid? How do we use Docker integration? How do we use cloud grid solutions like Browser Stack, Sauce Labs, or Lambda Test? Then we will see the Chrome DevTools mastery, like how do we intercept the network and track the performance of it? How do we use the different options like Chrome Recorder for user flows, debugging Selenium scripts, network mocking? How do we use the console panel and JavaScript debugging there, elements panel and DOM inspection? Then we start with the data-driven framework. Any doubts in the topics covered so far? You feel like anything we are missing something? Then we start with data-driven framework. We will start with what is a page object model, page factory, which is better, page object or page factory, base class design, utility classes. Then we go for data management like Excel integration, JSON and properties file, database connectivity, dynamic test data generation. Then we go for reporting and logging scenarios. How do we integrate extent reports, Allure report? How do we log screenshots on failure? Cucumber and BDD. We will follow the Gherkin syntax like given and then. What is a Cucumber all about? Feature files and scenarios, step definitions, Cucumber hooks, BDD framework design, Cucumber with testng/JUnit, tags and test runner, data tables and scenario outline, Pico container, reporting and integration. Then we will say hybrid framework design using BDD and testng. Framework design principles, combining BDD with testng. How do we structure our project? Configuration management. How to use shared test context memory, how to use cross framework reporting, parallel execution setup, how do we use reusable step libraries, data driven BDD tests, framework extensibility, all these things. So whatever frameworks we are seeing, guys, it will be like a very real time frameworks. The framework styling and architecture will be way different from what you have seen in your organizations or something, because we are using the latest features of Java, latest ideologies, latest framework design patterns that we are using in the market. Then we will see what is the CI/CD setup. How do we configure Jenkins and Docker for doing the CI/CD setup? And we will also cover some AWS fundamentals like EC2 and S3 setup, deploying Jenkins on AWS, Selenium grid on cloud. If time permits, I will cover Azure DevOps or GCP also. Then we'll see the CI/CD pipeline design, end-to-end pipeline architecture, automated build and test stages, deployment strategies, all these things. Then this is the area where everyone will be interested. Like how do we use local AI models, Olama setup and configuration? How do we run LLM models? How do you know which model for you can be used for testing? API integration with test frameworks. Then we see how do we use a smart test creation, automated bug report analysis, code review automation testing. We will also see how to use GitHub Copilot for automation, AI powered dashboard generation, Cloud Core and Git ingest for intelligent code analysis and repository insights. We can also understand what are the different prompt engineering testing for techniques for testing. How do we combine multiple AI tools? All these things. So at last, we will also help you showcase how to showcase your resume, how to showcase your GitHub repository, how to showcase your projects that you're working on. Because nowadays, if you say you know Selenium, Java, and all these things, that is not going to matter. Now, what it matters is how are you showcasing your GitHub repository? How are you showcasing your portfolio? How do you optimizing your LinkedIn interview prep? All these things matters a lot. How many real world scenarios you are trying to demonstrate to the interview panel? That is what it matters, guys. And for every tester now, everyone needs to know the basic fundamentals of Linux and shell scripting, because when we are working with AWS or when we are working with AWS or GCP, you need to know some basic Linux commands and shell scripting. So for that, we will be sharing the recorded sessions of Linux shell scripting and all these things. And if you have any doubts, you can ask questions here also. Okay. We'll be sharing you the sessions on the Linux sessions will be very exhaustive, very detailed. You can go through the Linux recordings and also the database fundamentals, like what is database, what are the, how do we set up, what is the different join operations and all these things. Because nowadays we are going into the 2026 era where everyone, we are expecting from one guy to know a Java, CI/CD setup, cloud computing technologies, AI based thing, and database, because they want testers who understand not only the functional part, they want testers who understand the system design, who understands the design of the system properly and test the application from day in and day out. They are the testers that the whole industry is anticipating in the market. Based on the requirement, we are covering everything. The duration of the course is 45 days. Okay. And the classes will be there from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. IST. Once we know Java, the beauty of this course is once we know the extent, we are covering Java very extensively. Once we know the Java layer very extensively, then the whole job will be about understanding what are the different functions in Selenium and how do we include them as part of the framework. Okay. I hope this is clear for everybody. So tomorrow onwards, we are starting the regular classes about what are the tools that needs to be set up. Then we will start with the programming fundamentals, like from the semiconductor era, because I don't want our the 8 people or 7 people attending the course shall not put blank faces when someone asks you about what is a semiconductor and all these things. Of course, I'm not gonna go teach very deep about PNP and NPN transistors. Yeah, Sajay, go ahead. Ajay, you can talk.
Like, how many weeks full total training will be?
Will be around 12 weeks because we are Saturday, Sundays will be off, right, for us. So in a month
Yes,
we cover 22 days. So ideally we should
22.
cover 2 months to 2.5 months. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
45 days is minimum we are taking because we have to cover the AI based topics, right? Those are not recorded. Whereas Git,
Yeah.
Linux, shell scripting, and SQL fundamentals are recorded, right? Ajay?
Yes. 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 And the same time it
Same
will
time
be.
morning 7 to 8 a.m. IST.
Okay. Got it.
If that AI topics were not there, we would have covered the course within 35 days.
So in the cloud, you mentioned like
Mm.
set up servers easy to,
Yes, we need to set up EC2 instances, S3 buckets, and we need to store
and
reports in S3 buckets, our GCP servers also.
so from prerequisites like IAM profile, permissions and all
I
those
mean, we
also
don't
covered.
require that much. The admin team
Okay.
does the job for you. If this was a full-length
Okay.
SRE for testers, I would have told you IAM profile setup. How do we provide
Okay.
the privileges? Because AWS has around
Just
250 policies.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just asking like that's
Yeah, the admin team will do for you. So as a tester, what
yeah.
we require, I'm just telling you, setting up a EC2
Okay.
instance, S3 bucket. Because if you talk about AWS or GCP, then I have to discuss about load balancing, network layer, the 7 layers of networking. All these things we have to start
Mm,
teaching it.
got you. Got
Before you start AWS, then by the time you'll get the Linux commands and shell scripting fundamentals. Because without that, you cannot proceed further.
you. Yeah. Obviously. Yes. Understood.
So AWS and GCP, either of the cloud technologies, you should know it. That is a mandatory nowadays.
Mm, yes. Yes. Are we using like for this course AWS or GCP?
We will try to use AWS for
Yes,
one setup.
AWS.
We'll try to see GCP at least for instance creation and doing things. I might not
Okay.
cover GCP in detail, but at least I can try to show you how to create one instance and how do we execute it, because we have 2 3 places to set up the CI/CD setup, right? Different frameworks and all. We'll try to see.
Mm. Okay.
If time permits, I can show GCP. Again, you have to subscribe for a Google Cloud Console and all those things, because AWS and GCP you have to subscribe for them. So there might be some charges you have to pay. Like every month, there'll be around 200 rupees you have to pay for the charges.
Okay.
And of course,
Thank you.
there are a lot of alternate technologies are coming up in competition with Google and Amazon. Our own Indians are manufacturing their market for own S3 buckets or own similar to S3 buckets or similar to GCP buckets for cost-effective mechanism. By that time, if I purchase something, we can see. Yes, Vaishnav, go ahead.
Happy to hear that.
Vaishnav.
So is API automation
No, no,
part of the
no, no,
course?
no. If you check the actual course plan, this is only for Selenium only.
Okay.
Previously,
So
we
is
used to
there any
cover.
other course that covers API automation also?
You check with the admin team in the evening batch. I've started API testing. I've just finished JavaScript fundamentals. Then we start with Postman testing and all.
Means the course has already started.
Yeah, we have already finished Git, and we are finishing JavaScript fundamentals in the evening batch.
Okay.
Because for Postman we need to know JavaScript.
Okay.
So you can talk to the admin team and you can get yourself enrolled if you want API testing in the evening time.
Okay.
Because if you combine API and automation, you say UI testing in one course, it's take around 4 to 5 months.
Right.
So that's the reason we have a full stack course running at the evening 9 to 10 p.m.
Okay.
There everything is live. Cool. If you want API testing, you have to talk to the team and join that evening batch.
Sure, sir. So one more question. So, like being 12 plus years of experience in functional testing only, like
Mm.
how do I position myself in the job market in automation experience?
So you
I
need to
agree at that.
showcase 6 years of
Yeah.
experience in automation. That's the first thing.
Mm,
Second thing is we need to showcase some AI powered contributions. Like let me show you my AI powered generate test cases. Let me
okay.
show you what I have done. Like they have done this because of my laziness. Okay. So if you see, this is one of the test case generators I built using a Cloud agent and Google Cloud Gemini 3. Okay. If you scroll down here, you can say get started. You see, I have I'll click on sample user story. Okay. Can
Okay.
you read this user story?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to generate the test cases in a general format. And nowadays we generate the test cases using the Gherkin format most of the time. Okay. Yes or
Okay.
no? Vaishnavi.
Yeah.
Now I'll generate around 10 test cases as of now. Or else I'll increase it to 15 test cases. And I click on generate.
Okay.
AI is generating these test cases. It is scanning through everything and it is seeing whether we generate what are the test cases it is generating.
Mm,
So these kind of tools, if you can bring it to your repository, then that is where you can earn your edge over others in the current market. What are the major pain areas that every manual tester faces? If you are trying to address it, at least 40% with the help of AI. Now you see the test cases that we have generated.
mm.
Okay.
But does companies agree to integrate with third-party AI automation
Yes. Yes.
tools?
Now slowly the companies are adapting towards it, especially in product-based
Okay.
companies. Now what we are doing is we are using these kind of tools, like we are using these kind of tools to generate the test cases. When I'm generating the test cases, it is also giving you the analysis, like if you are using open source tools, what will be the behavior? If you are using no code tools, what can be done? It is also giving you the suitability check based on its understanding. Got it?
Okay. No, like why I'm asking is like BRD will be a sensitive data, right? So
So
especially in banking
that
domain.
is why you see organizations are promoting to use Copilot, right?
Okay.
So on top of Copilot, you can build your application using the prompt engineering. 1 minute. So on top of Copilot, we can build an application which is internal to your organization. Copilot is officially allowed in most of the organizations, even in the complex banking structures, mechanism also Copilot is being allowed, right? We can build this kind of applications, or else people like me, external parties, can suggest this application and can deploy this application inside the companies. No matter what complex system it is, AI is still being used in different ways. You can use Copilot and you can build the same application.
Okay.
Got it, Vaishnavi? Forget about
Yes.
companies. Even the military intelligence are also using Claude, Anthropic, or OpenAI or Grok in their systems. How are we as a banking system? Got it?
So they have some data agreements or something, not
Yes,
to.
yes, we have a data agreements, everything. So that is why you need to sit
Okay.
with your project management to understand things. As a tester, our role is not only restricted to our own team. You have to talk to project managers, you have to talk to product owners, stakeholders to understand what is the what. And definitely, if you give this application, I can assure you that this application is secured in terms of data, because we never store your data unless and until you save it. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, one last question. So I understand I have to position myself with 6 years of automation experience, but will I be able to work at equal speed of another automation tester who is having the same experience,
That
real-time
depends on
experience?
how well you are practicing it, how well you are doing it. If you're practicing good, you are able to solve complex problems on a regular basis, you'll definitely catch up with all the young youngsters who are in automation testing.
Okay.
It all depends on your practice. Now you see here, I've generated all the Gherkin steps. It is also giving me the automation feasibility and all these things. The Gherkin steps exactly. Cool.
Yeah.
So it will give you all the test cases. And it also give you what are the analysis, boundary analysis. 5 boundary test cases, 3 negative test cases, 3 security cases, 3 edge cases. If you want to add more cases, I will say I want to add more regression test cases. It will add more regression test cases in a while. Got it?
Yeah. Thank you.
These are the things that management is expecting from us as a senior resources. Activities that are required where it saves time. Okay. So if you click on preview, you can see how the feature file is looking like. Okay. Now you see it has added regression test cases. If you filter out with regression, if you see here, it has added more regression test cases. Clear? You just need to check all the scenarios here. Now, if you want, I can save the changes here. For my user story, I'll say SFP19020, some user story. So you can go to the test cases. You can view the test cases here. Got it? Got it, Vaishnavi? From here on, you can
Sorry.
you can use the human brain to modify the test cases in a different way. Got it?
Okay.
This is what management is expecting. So imagine the time spent on writing the test cases from zero versus using these tools. This is what will buy you a better paying job. So as I told you, Vaishnav, in my introduction, that you should not say what tools you have used. With your talent and the tools usage, what productivity you brought to the company. That is the new
Yeah.
era of showcasing yourself.
Okay.
Focus on that. Definitely competing with your peers is not a big deal. And also we have this defect reports. So you can upload the defect report of any Jira or Azure DevOps, and you can do share the analysis. Right now I don't have any defect report sample here, but I can show you. Now if you see here, you can say approve or reject. And if you say reject, you can say what is the reason for rejection. You can tell the AI, you can communicate with the AI that, okay boss, I didn't like this test case, this is not my expectation from this test case. You can send the message and you click on reject and regenerate. It will regenerate a new test case based on your understanding or requirement. This is like the interactive prompt generation of test cases. Got it?
Yeah.
So we are training the LLM model on the floor. And if you want to be more super fantastic tester for everybody, focus on the concept of creating SLM models. That means host your LLM model in some AWS or GCP, train that model as per your company requirements or as per your project. Later, we can connect our this automation scripts to the LLM model, and we can communicate with the LLM model for any issues related to functionality. Like I don't know how many of you from e-commerce platform, there's something called as Elasticsearch testing. So what we do in Elasticsearch testing in a globalization manner. So if your application is supporting multiple languages, if I give the word Russes, it will display properly. But if I give the same word Russes in French or Spanish, the details won't be displayed properly. So that will be one of the problems, which is leading to globalization testing. Got it? Same image name, well, same images shall be displayed for different names in different languages. Got it, Vaishnav? And
Yeah.
Abhijit, Ajay, Vaishnavi, Hasina, Beltran.
Yes, got it.
And Ajay, since you are in performance testing, I'm also equally a performance tester, where we have generated some AI-based dashboards over the last 5 months. We have also seen the trend of particular service where P95, P99 is failing big time. Got it, Ajay? I hope you're there.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we link up this performance testing to next level, that is browser profiling and app profiling. That is the new era of performance testing.
Oh,
Nowadays, testing only the API doesn't make you yourself as a performance engineer. Even we have to know what is context profiling, app profiling, browser profiling. These are the new areas of performance testing. Like the cognitive area of performance testing is these. Cool guys, then I'll see you all tomorrow. If you don't have any doubts, we can call it for the day.
thank you, Rahul. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.